Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Are you fucking ready for chapter 4? I'm not even looking at my notes.
I am ready. Now, I will tell you, this is the last somewhat normal episode before we get to the spicy stuff.
More spicy. I have heartburn. Not a good time to talk about spicy, lady.
Yeah,
Testicles,
nothing
1,
spicy.
2. Testicles, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast. My esophagus is on fire. And so is the podcast every single time we have our next special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trebles Garcia, the humble host of this amazing adventure. And I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. I just got off a 20-minute walk with my little toddler, and she made my heart pump. Guys, the most important thing that you could do for the show, please allow me to remind you, is word of mouth. You got to tell your friends about the show. Guys, what's the point of me dropping 4 episodes a week if you're not even going to tell your friends about it? Yeah. Check this out. I'm not even going to look, guys. Yeah, you're not working. You're not working hard enough. You got to tell people about the show. You know, that random babysitter, you see her like, hey, I'm taking care of hey, you know what? You need some pastime. Once you put her to sleep, check out Paranoid Radio Podcast. Let her know. Then you have your cousins when you see them at the fucking Dodger games or the Yankee games, right? Because they're at the fucking World Series now. And like, hey, dude, you know what? On your drive to there, on your bus route there, check out Paranoid Radio Podcast. Oh, yo, check this out. Hey, you into conspiracies? Hey, yo, hey, dude, you like government stuff? Hey, yo, you like Donald Trump? Hey, yo, check it out. Dude, there's always things to talk about on the show. Tell people about it. Check us out at paranoidradio.com and drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcast that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Allow me to introduce... No. Let me jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the mood. That is right. Striking with iron is hot. This is the best show for the best content, with the best content for the best listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce the hostess of the Deplorable Nation podcast. She has been here before. Deplorable Janet. Welcome back.
Why, thank you for having me back. And jumping in the deep end without any floaties is always an adventure, right?
That's the only reason. Well, that's how most of us Latinos learn how to swim. Not that I know how to swim. I'm just saying. Most of us.
Just throwing you in the pool and going, fend for yourself.
Now, Janet, please give yourself an introduction. I'm going to go get myself a Tums. Okay?
All right. Absolutely. So, Deplorable Nation podcast available on every podcast platform. Plus, if you want to watch the video version, you can watch me on Rumble at Deplorable Nation Podcast. If you want to hit me up on Instagram at Deplorable Janet or Twitter, you can find me there at No Janet KNOW.
That's right. I'm back. I'll go back there. Like, guys, I haven't ate much. I ate a donut about 5 hours ago. And I just started walking. I guess my body started shaking, and then my stomach's like, hold up. Heartburn. Oh, yeah.
Let me shake you up from the inside out. So today, since you are chewing on some Tums, we cannot get into the spicy yet. So the super spicy, where people may get a little judgy, will be in the next episode. So today is more of the usual life stuff. So there you go.
I love your creative direction. I'm not even going to trip on it. I want to thank every single one of you that has interacted with us. You just did an episode with JB from Warrior Series on our show, and everybody knows JB as Renegade Family of Light. He's been here countless times ever since the first week I started the show.
He's a beast.
He is a very good friend of mine and a very strong influence, one of our seven wonders here at Parent Radio Podcast. So I want to thank every single one of you guys for tuning into this show, but I really want you guys to tune into that show over at the
Mm-hmm.
Deplorable Nation podcast. Make sure you check it out. It's now out on Rumble. And by the time
Mm-hmm.
you're listening to the show, it should be out already on audio. Now, Janet,
Mm-hmm.
we've dropped chapter 3 on our show, and people are going crazy bananas because your ex-husband was a freaking lunatic.
Mm-hmm. That he was. Yep.
Continue the show, my lady.
Okay, so all the stuff is going on, right? Medical bills are going crazy, and I'm trying to recover from the back surgery. When I had that done, the neurosurgeon was like, "You're going to need to take 2 months off," right? I did not have enough paid time off to take 2 months off. And I knew, especially with the bills that I had already and trying to pay for a house and the whole 9 yards, I'm like, there's no way. So after 2 weeks, after my back surgery, I went back to work. I couldn't take pain meds or anything during recovery time because pain meds make me sick. And so I only took those for about 4 days. And after that, it was just tough out the pain on your own.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm working, getting back into the swing of things, still trying to figure out, by playing the game of bill roulette, where you throw them up in the air and whatever lands first, that's what you pay.
I do that. I do that. I did that today. I do it all
Yeah,
the time.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so trying to do that, trying to navigate getting back into work and trying to walk and function somewhat normal. And so that went on for a little while, and then I was like, man, I feel really weird. Something is seriously wrong with me. And I'm like taking the dog outside, and I have to sit down on the steps waiting for the dog to go to the bathroom, and I would literally fall asleep. And I'm like, this is not like me, because anybody that knows me knows I'm like the Energizer Bunny. So I'm like
Uh-oh.
ungodly tired, and I started feeling really weird, and I'm having these like the spins all the time. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with me? And I'm starting to get the, vertigo more frequently. And it's like it would come, and then I would also lose hearing in one ear, vision in one eye, and the whole side of my body would go numb. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me now? And
Uh-oh.
so, we ordered a bunch of tests or whatever. And so I'm going through like a battery of heart tests, one thing right after the other. And you got to jump through hoops or insurance won't pay for stuff. And so I have like all the basics done, and they're like, well, everything looks good. I don't see anything. And I'm like, well, something's wrong. And so we need to like keep probing this. And so I ended up having a cardiac stress test done. It's where you run on the treadmill, and, they take an EKG and stuff while you're running on the treadmill. Failed miserably. Couldn't
Hmm.
get up to the target heart rate, couldn't get anywhere near it. And so they're like, well, something is causing you to not have any exercise capacity. Something's wrong. And I was in good shape because, hello, I was on my feet 12 hours a day. And so I ended up having a cardiac catheterization done, and that's where they go in through your groin and feed this little wire all the way up and shoot dye into your heart and whatever. And so they found a very rare heart anomaly where like the vessels around your heart look like your fingers, right? Straight fingers. And it looks like fingers hugging the heart. Well, mine is definitely not. Mine looks like my hair all across my heart, and they're very curvy and twisty. And he's like, I have read about this in books. I've never seen this. This is probably explaining your problem, but now you're going to have to go see a neurosurgeon as well.
Oh,
So
damn.
they put me, or a neurologist, sorry about that. So they put me on heart medication. They tried multiple different ones. The first one they put me on, like, I was so allergic to it, made me cough and throw up every time. It was crazy. And
Mhm.
so by trial and error, right, they finally figure out what works, controlling my blood pressure, controlling some of the other symptoms that I was having, rapid heart rate. I felt like my heart was going to beat out of the side of my throat. So I go and see a neurologist, and I'm telling him, these are the symptoms. This is what's going on. They just found this. He told me I was having little mini strokes. That's what the episodes were, where I was losing vision and hearing and all of that stuff.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep,
Oh
they're called
God.
they're called TIAs, transient ischemic attacks. So on top of recovering from the back surgery, my ex-husband is a douche canoe and still continuing. My daughter is being
That was very lightly put. You need to say douche canoe a lot more aggressive.
he was a douche canoe. Okay.
Douche canoe.
So, like, all of these things are going on, and then this health stuff is going on, and I'm so tired and I can't function, and I'm like, they don't want me to drive because of the dizzy spells and all of that shit, and I'm like, well, that's not possible. I'm a single parent and, can't take any time off work. I don't have any more paid days. And so, of course, at this time I had insurance, but insurance doesn't pay 100%.
Word.
So all of these things are adding on to my medical debt, right? And I'm so, 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 so stressed out. And about that time, and I had been a single parent for 10 years. About that time, this is back in the day when Facebook had games on it. And
Remember that
so
time? Hmm.
I'm on there one night and I'm playing a game and I get a message from this guy and I'm like, open it up and I'm like, oh, this guy seems really nice or whatever. ends up
Hmm.
ends up being my current husband. Um, so we actually met on a game on Facebook called Sex Games. Okay. Kind of setting the stage for things that are to come.
I love it. Look
So
at this. Okay.
so we meet through this, and we chit chat back and forth. He's in Tennessee, I'm in Indiana. And so we talking back and forth for a long time, and I'm telling him all these things that are going on with me and telling him about my daughter. And, he's getting out of a marriage and he's like, I don't want anything serious. Like I'll meet basically for a booty call, for a hookup.
Word.
And that's it. And
That's what
I'm
I
like,
told my wife
okay.
too when I met her. I'm like, I ain't down.
Yeah.
I ain't down with you.
It's, you know what? It was a lie. He told himself. And I told
Hmm.
him, I said, when you meet me, you're going to change your mind. I promise you that. And I knew, like, from the get-go, just from our conversations, I'm like, this guy is my soulmate. This is a person I was meant to be with, whatever. Even though he says he's not going to want anything, I'll guarantee he's going to. And
Mm.
so at the time, he was working for an airline subsidiary. And so he could fly to see me as long as he could get a jump seat, and it was free. So he came up to stay with me during Thanksgiving week. Um, and we have literally been together ever since.
Sure. Wow, 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 wow.
And I told him, and I didn't push it. I didn't push it or anything. I was like, yeah. I'm like, we have so much in common. We're so similar that when we meet, you're going to be like, this is my person. I was with the wrong person all along and whatever. And so I never said a word. I just let him go at his own pace. But we dated long distance for 4 years before I
Uh-huh.
ever moved to Tennessee. And we've been together ever since. So,
Let's just say it in Spanish for teenagers. Amor de lejos, amor de pendejos. And what that means is Faraway love is love for losers, to put in nice
Hmm.
words, right? Well, instead of heavy
Hmm.
words.
Right.
But these are two people that have been battle hardened, right?
Hmm.
That
Right.
have been going through hell, and you specifically. A lot of the times on the show, I say that women love men for what they bring to the table, but it's not only security, at least financial security.
Right.
It's always, the three P's: professing, protecting, providing. And the
Hmm.
fourth P is Paranoid Radio Podcast.
Exactly. And that's the most important one. It should have been first.
I love dropping that bomb, but it's true though. And if you feel secured, you will put out that energy. He will repeat. His energy will be reciprocated 10 times fold. And then
Hmm.
we are, believe it or not, we are. How do you say this? Fools. There's no other word for it for the right woman. When that
Hmm.
energy's there, and you're like, oh, I got the tingles. You got the tingles, bro. It just happens. And those guys, we're so easy. We're basic human. We're basic. We're really basic inside. Like inside, we're just like, oh yeah, we like it. We don't like it. Period. There's
Hmm.
nothing in between. So when we like it, we really like it, man. And I'm happy you guys are together right now, and he's helping you move forward with your life. And you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was such a great thing because I wasn't expecting like uh monetary stuff or anything like that. It was
Mhm.
literally just the heart.
Yeah, you were
And
made. I
that
mean, you had to,
that was
you know?
something I prayed for that for so long because of the lack of that, and a lack of affection and all that stuff for so many years, from my family, from my ex-husband, from all of that stuff. And I'm like, I just want somebody who gets me and accepts me for the person that I am. And I will tell you that it's like he looked through my soul because he saw me for the first time ever. No one's ever saw me before. And he
Uh,
got me right away. And it was like communication and everything was so easy. It's like we had known each other literally our entire lives.
I think it's the honesty, bro. It was an exchange of honesty. Boom, boom, boom. And you
Mhm.
guys are like, oh, yeah, me too. Okay, me too. It was just, yeah. Oh, man,
So
that's
it
beautiful.
was perfect. The
Mhm.
hard thing was, like I said, he could only come and see me if he could get a flight, but that didn't always happen. I'm struggling for money. He was struggling for money. And so it was like the visits were not as frequent as I would like, going both ways
Mhm.
because neither one of us could really afford it, but we literally were on the phone together or FaceTiming or whatever, literally all the time. So when he came up and he stayed with me that whole week for Thanksgiving, he met my daughter
Oh,
and he
wow.
said,
That's a huge step.
I'm going to tell you because I mean, he'd actually spoken to her on the phone before. I had
Okay.
spoken to his son on the phone before. And with all the stuff going on with her and the way that she was lashing out and acting out, and she got violent and she would call me names all the time. She's constantly trying to like beat me up and fight with me and all the stuff. And he's like, I love you, but I don't know that I want to be her stepdad. I was devastated. And I was like, where does that leave us? Because I don't
Yo,
know what
that
to
dude
do.
was brutally honest.
Yeah. And at the time, I was like, oh my God. And then
Respect.
s- having to take a step back at that and look at that and be like, why would he want to be involved with this? Because these are all the things that have gone on in my life. This is what we're dealing with now with the behavior. I've got a crazy ex husband. I'm like, all of these things. And so for him to care enough about himself to be like, this is probably not going to be healthy for me or whatever. That's why we dated for 4 years before I ever moved down here. So respect to him, though. He stuck it out.
No,
And,
respect for both of you at the end of the day, because you also worked it. You're still here, bro. You're there.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
And I'm
you could have
so,
easily said like, "Oh no, well then I'm not the reacher," like, and then an
yeah.
egotistical war type of thing.
But you know
Hmm.
what? I wasn't going to buck the system because God gave me everything in that person that I was ever asking for, all rolled up into one person, and that's why I
Oh
said from the
wow,
get-go, I knew he was created specifically for me. And I was like, can't let this person go, can't rule this situation with emotions and let what's
wow.
going on with the current situation and the state of my life and the stress of my life dictate my future happiness. Can't do it.
Shout outs to One Thumb Ellie because she mentioned on our woman episode, she said feminism is what really created this ruckus
Mm-hmm.
between in society between
Mm-hmm.
the sexes. And he goes, we forget that women have a role. Dude, what you just said was the entire trailer for this episode. Because think about what you said though. You said, I found everything I was looking for. God gave me, put first God giving
Mm-hmm.
you the
Amen.
strike. And then you're like, yo, I can't rule this over my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else that I have to take a step on. Wow. What happened after?
So like I said, we did the long distance thing for, 4 years and stuff. And then we had a little bit of a rocky time just because of so much in his life and my life and whatever. We were still together. But it was a little bit rocky. Communication got a little wonky, which that's the only time. And so he's like, I need you to come down here. We need to talk face to face and see if you want to move here. And I'm like, well, that's a big step. Not that I hadn't moved all over in my life, which I forgot to tell you about all that, but
Mm.
that was a big decision to make to be able to leave my job at the teaching hospital that I had had for such a long time and all of the security that came along with that to be able to go someplace new, had to transfer my nursing license. I needed to sell my house. I
Whoa.
ended up did I was not able to sell my house until after I had lived here for like another 3 years after I had moved here. That's when it
Mm.
finally sold. So we were paying for his house here and my house up there. So it was a lot. Yeah.
Mm.
And so like the funny thing to me is all the people that always say, you must have come from privilege. I chuckle at that because I still to this day shop at Goodwill, right? I'm a thrift store shopper. I
I
don't
love
buy
it.
anything new. I didn't grow up with anything new. I got hand-me-downs from my sister, or once a year I would get like one new pair of shoes and one pair of jeans, and that was like it. And everything else was like a struggle to fight for and to, whatever, because when all these things are going on, I'm a single parent. I don't have money, like I said, playing the bill roulette and all of that stuff and all of this debt mounting. And I have a house that, I bought before the insurance company took all their money
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
And there were times where we literally had no money to speak of for food. And so I would literally, I have $5. I would go to the Dollar Tree to their cold section. And that would be where I would get whatever I could get with $5 for a meal or whatever. And so during that whole time, my parents were like, well, we helped you once. Now you're on your own because they could not understand why I did not have the money to pay all my bills. And I was a single mom. I wasn't going out, wasn't partying, wasn't drinking. I'd go straight to work, straight home, and so there was no like extra spending. Plus, her school was not free. So having to pay for textbook rental and pictures and
Oh
whatever
yeah.
all the time. I went to the church. The church is like, I'm sorry, but we don't have any money for you. Like you're not poor enough. So I would apply for free lunches at school. Didn't qualify for that because I made too much money. It was
Yeah,
like
the system's all jacked. Don't even get me started with the
50,
political
like
sphere because I'm gonna jump in
$50.
that bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like $50 too much or whatever over their
The
limit. So
stupidest amount. The
yeah.
stupidest amount. Stupidest. Yes.
So there
Yes.
was no food stamps, there was no help from the church, there was no nothing. There was no kind of help. My family's like, we're not helping you. Well, like we helped once, that was
That's
it.
what hurts the most.
Not doing it
That's what hurts the
anymore.
most. Can I
So
share something with you? I'm not trying
yeah,
to take over your show, but
no.
ever since my wife got sick and my baby was born, for the past 2 years and a half, I've been struggling to get out of freaking debt.
Hmm.
I'm $750 away from getting away from debt now today. Thank God.
Kudos. Yeah.
Thank you. And with the whole wife situation, the baby situation, and being split and getting a job near home, etc. I know what you're going through. It's like the change, even though we didn't move home, it's like the change is morale is
Hmm.
heavy, right? Especially when you're head of household and you're by yourself. You're
Hmm.
fucking damn, and then you're a woman. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. My fucking family. My mom died last year about this time in June. So my dad sold a house for 600. He owed about 250, 280. Sold the house for a very cheap price. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? He paid off the rest. He kept about $300,000. Mind you, I'm adopted, but I'm the oldest of the boys. So it's
Hmm.
my sister, me, and then my two brothers. My two brothers and I, we're only separated by, they're twins, by the way. My two brothers are twins. We're only separated by 6 months. So I'm only 6 months older than them. The point is, I had to find out through my brother. My brother calls me 3 weeks and a half ago, 3 weeks, almost a month ago. He goes like, yo, my dad sold the house, bro. We're moving out. I said, what's up, bro? Okay, what's up? You need me to go move the stuff with you or what? He's like, nah. So to tell you, dog, like, he gave us some money, bro. Give me $100,000 for me and Omar, and my sister got 100,000. And I'm like, wait, so you give you guys money? All right. What are you gonna do with it? My question is not, what are you gonna give me? My question is, what are
Hmm.
you gonna do with it, bro? And he's
Hmm.
like, oh, he's like, why am I giving myself I'm gonna give myself a pad and this and that, a house and this and that. Cool, awesome, right? Spoke with him on Sunday. Friday, this one goes out to you, dog. Shots fired. Fuck it, yo, dude. He comes out. He says, I just bought myself a fucking new 2025 new Silverado. Yo, no. You're happy, bro. I'm happy with you, dog. But you know what I would have done with at least $30,000 in for myself, dude? I would have taken that shit, bought 3 houses in El Salvador, rented them out, let them pay themselves,
Hmm.
and have recurring money here in California, and then move out
Right.
and buy a house. What? You wasted 85K on a truck, bro, and you still live at home with my dad? You
I
know what
was
my
gonna
dad,
say,
dude? You know what my dad didn't give me money? My dad didn't give me money. Not for two reasons, I think. I don't want to assume shit. One was because I don't carry the fucking last name. I'm adopted. It is what it is. Life is life. He already gave me my fucking present. My present was saving me from the fucking foster system. He gave me the opportunity to have this, right?
hmm,
And
right.
second, my dad is always gonna be my dad. I don't give a fuck. My dad pulled me from the fucking gutter. I don't give a fuck if he gave you $100,000. He gave me my life. That's
Right.
priceless, nigga.
Amen.
I'm sorry if I used the fucking N word. I just got pissed off. Anyway, Ale, you know what it is. So I come out and then I'm like, okay, cool. But dude, like, my dad didn't give me money also because at 22 years old, fresh out of jail, I walked out of that fucking house and I started paying my own fucking rent. Never been there, never been back since. I'm 34 years old then. Fool, it's been 11 years and you're still home. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
that's what it is. And plus, you have made better life choices, right? And that's the thing because okay, great. So you bought the truck that you've always wanted. Trucks are expensive. I'm a truck driver, but I bought mine used, right? And it's like trucks are so expensive now. It's literally a house payment. It's ridiculous. And
No, he
and
paid it
okay,
in full probably, and he
so
didn't think about the insurance and then the gas.
right.
in
right.
California.
Exactly. And then like if you become homeless, I guess you're just gonna live in that vehicle.
Oh God.
I
And
would rather put
I
that
pray
money
that he doesn't
down.
though. I pray that he doesn't. I'm happy that he's happy, dude. You know, everybody has their own things, but I would have flipped that money, bro. I would
I
have,
was
man. I
gonna
got
say
kids to feed.
I would use that as a down payment on a property with property, so I can have animals and plant a garden and all that stuff.
Bro.
Yeah.
Sorry to take over that part of the show. I
No,
just needed to vent it.
absolutely. No,
This is what
absolutely.
you
You're
do. You
fine.
freaking open the can of worms from nowhere.
I brought my can opener. Yeah. So
Oh
no, it
man.
was like um all of the challenges and all of those things over all the years that we've been together. It's been so good, and he's so supportive. And anything and everything that I want to do, he knew, because I don't hide anything from him. He doesn't hide anything from me. So he knew my financial situation. He was trying to help me where he could, even though he wasn't, doing great financially either. Um, because his ex-wife raked him over the coals as well.
Oh, so you both
So,
come from the
so
same the
yeah,
origins.
so we both had that kind of situation, and it's like we were building from the ground up, basically, our foundation. So, a foundation, thankfully, built in mutual respect and trust for each other, but also built on the foundation that God laid for us, because that's a huge part of, you know, our relationship, and being able to go through all of the things that we have, not with just ourselves, but through our kids and everything else too.
Let
So,
me ask you a question.
mhm.
Towards the end part of this amazing chapter, I think the chapter was very emotional. Sorry, because mostly my end. I feel better now.
That's the whole purpose.
Let me ask you something. What happened with your daughter? Did she accept him? How was she behaving when you guys moved out?
At first, they were friendly, and whatever. And then when she was around him one day, she had the same attitude with him that she had with me for a couple of years, where it was like
Oh, damn.
total disrespect and name calling and whatever. She did it to me, but in front of him, which normally didn't happen. And he let her have it
You
verbally.
allowed that? You allowed to open
Oh
that?
yeah, because
Oh yeah.
I told him when we first got together, I'm like, we have to mesh our families together. You have a son, I have a daughter. If we're going to be married, uh, I have to be able to co-parent, and so do you, or it's never going to work, because the kids are never going to accept us as a cohesive family
Never.
unit, right? So that also entered into all of our communication, was being able to be like, this is acceptable, that's not acceptable, what do you expect? What level can I go to? Whatever. And
Mhm.
so he didn't lay a hand on her or anything. It was just like, I am not going to allow you to
Mhm.
disrespect your mom, period.
Mhm.
Not going to happen in front of me. And you are going to go over there and apologize. She would not, she didn't want to talk to him for like 2 years after that.
Mhm.
It would be
After
like
he flipped, after
very,
he flipped.
oh, he did. It hurt his feelings so bad, because he's like, I feel so terrible that, I upset her so badly and whatever. I just couldn't see her being disrespectful like that to you and whatever. And I said, it's okay. She's gonna come around, because the discipline has always come from me. I've been her best friend and the disciplinarian, and playing both roles for
That role
years.
needed to come in. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And I'm
base.
like, so your father figure now, and so she's gonna have to learn that she's not always gonna get her way, and she can't manipulate, and you are gonna be the dad role. And so
Damn, that's hard.
it took a
That's
while,
hard.
and now they're super close, and she calls him dad all the time because she doesn't have anything to do with her dad.
The
So,
reason I'm smiling this big, and I'm like genuinely happy for both of y'all, it's because I could resonate with it. I will tell you
mhm,
something. Oh man. You know how I went with we went to the teacher parent conference last week when we
mhm,
were supposed to record? Well, today is another spectacle at work, right? At school. So I come out and Rebecca picked her up. Then we went to buy some shoes because I needed to buy her shoes and I see her Vans are all fucked up. And I was like, all right, let's go get some Vans. And she was like, yeah, well, I told my counselor. She was like, she just started yapping out, right? I was like, yeah, just I'm driving and I'm fucking just like whatever, because I'm thinking like I gotta get home. I got an hour and 30 minutes to come and shower, and then I got the toddler too to walk out because if I don't walk her, she don't want to go to sleep. So I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, so I told her that my dad was gonna call, and I was like, dude. Now the reason I
mhm,
say that is because I'm not her dad. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if I told you that, but I picked her up at 6. I'm like, I'm her stepdad. At
mhm,
6 years old, I picked her up. You know, the only one that has my last name is the little one.
mhm.
So it's like, what? Dude, I could
And
only
you know what?
imagine how he felt.
That's one of those proud moments, right? And you're like, yeah, I just heard that. I just heard that come out of your mouth. And that it's so funny because like his son, like we meet once a month for a
Mm,
meal or whatever, just to stay in his life because he's so busy with school and stuff.
mm,
And so like I will talk to him and he'll just blah, 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 blah. And Greg's like, I don't know how you do that because he won't talk to me like that. And I'm like, I'm just all up in their business and I will just ask them whatever pops into my head. And so it's, whether it's about, a girl or school or, going out or whatever, like there's always something I can talk to him about. He literally talks to me more than he talks to his mom.
huge. That's
Yeah.
huge.
And I love that. And,
And with
I,
that, Janet from the Deplorable Nation podcast came and delivered. Oh man,
well,
that was a heavy episode.
this was mild. Not to upset your heartburn. This was mild, but like I said, next episode, you guys are in for a doozy, and then you're probably going to be very judgy, and that's okay. But don't pull the criticize the log in my eye without looking at the speck in yours. So there you go.
Bam. Okay, I'm gonna have to fucking phrase that. That's gonna be something to hashtag look it up. The point here is, guys, we're all conspiracy theorists, realists. If you're listening to the show this far, 300 and so something episodes in, you know that what we say here has to be taken without judgment. Because we all know we're all fuck ups. We're all done stupid shit. Peter
Mhm,
rejected Jesus Christ 3 times. Who the fuck are
mhm.
we to judge? Right?
Exactly.
That's right.
Mhm.
So let them know where they can find you. That's right.
Okay, so Deplorable Nation podcast, every podcast platform, or on Rumble, or you can hit me up personally on Instagram at Deplorable Janet or on Twitter at No Janet KNOW.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're enjoying chapter 4 of Deplorable Origins with Deplorable Janet from Deplorable Nation, drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or check her out on Rumble. Now, what's happening is we're dropping bombs on Rumble nightly, 2 to 3 episodes, old ones from the vault. However, you could always go to her. We got some interaction. Somebody that really loves you found you on our Rumble and then added you on Instagram. I was like, hey, and she left comments on our thing. And I was like, what the heck? Like, okay. So Janet, you're a winner. I want to thank the Lord for allowing us to be here today. And then thank every single one of you guys for listening and tuning in. Make sure you check us out at Paranoid Radio Podcast, paranoidradio.com. Tell your friends about the show. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace out. Janet, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Paranoid Radio.